Trump reiterates Indian poll meddling charge.
We are being reciprocal with India. Whatever India charges, we charge them. So, frankly, it no longer matters to us that much what they charge.
MEA says USAID allegations concerning. BJP trains guns on Rahul Gandhi.
Well, these political parties or people in these political parties fronting for mysterious forces from across the border around the world that were wanting to undermine India's democracy and India's rise as an economic power.
Congress calls charges nonsensical.
इतनी तिकड़में आप विदेशों में लगाते हो, आपके देश में $21 मिलियन आया तो ये तो आपके चेहरे पे तमाचा क्यों आने दिया?
Trump USAID bombshell explodes. Top focus on 5 Live.
Did America interfere, meddle in India's poll process? Well, there's a political showdown over this. US President Donald Trump claims, yes, it happened under Biden's watch. And Trump has spoken about it twice, this time questioning why $21 million of USAID grant was given for increasing voter turnout in India. He's referred to it as a kickback scheme. Meanwhile, the BJP has claimed that this is evidence that Congress and Rahul Gandhi are in fact behind this meddling by foreign affairs, referring to Rahul Gandhi's remarks on foreign soil, talking about the need for America, for Europe to take note of the reality in India.
Can you imagine all that money going to India? I wonder what they think when they get it. Now, it's a kickback scheme. You know, it's not like they get it and they spend. They kick it back to the people that send it, I would say, in many cases.
US President Donald Trump hints at foreign interference in India once again, claiming the Joe Biden administration allocated $21 million to top-raise voter turnout. Trump suggested it could be a kickback scheme.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. Why are we caring about India turnout? We got enough problems. We want our own turnout, don't we? Can you imagine all that money going to India? I wonder what they think when they get it. Now, it's a kickback scheme. You know, it's not like they get it and they spend. They kick it back to the people that send it, I would say, in many cases, many of these cases.
The Congress, citing newspaper reports, claimed that USAID allocated $21 million for voter turnout to Bangladesh and not India. The BJP rejected the news report. And Rahul Gandhi to foreign meddling, flagging his speeches in London last year.
तो विदेश में भारत के लोकतंत्र को कमजोर करने का षड्यंत्र कर रहे थे और राहुल गांधी अपील कर रहे थे कि बड़े लोकतांत्रिक देश भारत के लोकतंत्र को सफल करने में मदद करें, मतलब राहुल गांधी को जिताने में मदद करें। उनको वोट नहीं मिलता, हार जाते हैं बार बार।
BJP sources claim USAID gave $204 million to the UPA government between 2004 to 2013, while Indian NGOs were given over $2,000 million. Sources also claim USAID funding stopped after 2015 and the NDA government just received $1.5 million while funding to NGOs increased to over $2,500 million. The BJP sources allege this hike in NGO funding coincided with Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra in 2022. The Congress denied the foreign interference charge, demanding the Modi government release a white paper on where the funds were used.
ये भारत में जो चुनावी प्रक्रिया है, इसमें हस्तक्षेप करने के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा था और ऐसा क्यों किया जाना चाहिए? मोदी जी से नफरत करते करते वो अब भारत से नफरत करने लगे, यहां के नागरिकों से वो नफरत करने लगे। मोदी जी को वो अपनी क्षमता से, जो उनकी लोकप्रियता बची नहीं है, उससे हरा नहीं सकते, इसलिए विदेशी ताकतों का वो सहारा लेते हैं।
ये तो यूक्रेन से लेकर और पता नहीं कहां पूरे विश्व में जाकर तिकड़मे लगाते हैं। कभी सुनते हैं विदेशों में कुछ कर दिया कांड, कई तिकड़मे लगा रहे होते हैं। तो जब इतनी तिकड़मे आप विदेशों में लगाते हो, आपके देश में $21 मिलियन आया तो ये तो आपके चेहरे पे तमाचा, फिर बोलते नहीं 2012 में जब यूपीए की सरकार थी तब आया था। तो 14 का रिजल्ट जो आपका पक्ष में आया, क्या आप उस पैसे से जीते?
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar too chimed in, claiming Trump revealed the plot to manipulate and taint India's electoral process.
पता लगाना चाहिए वो कौन लोग हैं जिन्होंने इस प्रकार के आक्रमण को स्वीकार किया, हमारे प्रजातांत्रिक मूल्यों के ऊपर इतना बड़ा कुठाराघात किया। उन ताकतों पर प्रतिघात करना हमारा राष्ट्र धर्म है।
Donald Trump's big charge has triggered a big fight in India. Did the United States meddle in our elections? Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, days after the Donald Trump administration spoke about that USAID funding of $21 million and said they've cancelled it, which was referred to by Doge as money meant for influencing voter turnout in India. You've got the first statement from the MEA, which has raised concerns over alleged foreign interference in our affairs, in India's internal affairs. The MEA said this is deeply troubling and that relevant departments, authorities are looking into the same.
USAID के मुद्दे पे जो मुझे कहना था मैंने आपको उससे अवगत कराया है और ये बताया है कि बहुत सारे भारतीय सरकार में इकाई हैं जो इस पे USAID के साथ काम करती हैं। वो कई एक मंत्रालय हैं, तो जितने भी इससे संबंधित मंत्रालय और जो एजेंसीज काम कर रहे हैं वो इस मुद्दे को अभी देख रहे हैं। तो जब एक अपडेट हमारे पास आएगा तो आपसे हम साझा करेंगे।
So the MEA expressing concern over all of the suggestions of foreign interference. Piyush Mishra is joining us with more details on this statement and more. Piyush, while the government has taken note of this, saying it's extremely worrying, there are some claims that this $21 million was misconstrued to be for India, that it's actually for Bangladesh. But the BJP maintains that's not the case. This was an attempt to meddle in India's election.
Well, certainly, Akshita, we are now seeing massive political slugfest taking place on the claims that those have now come to the fore. Remember that not once but twice Donald Trump has spoken on this. Earlier, he had said that why our $25 million US dollar was being sent to India. We need this money here in our country. Why do we have to meddle in Indian affairs? He had also indicated that someone wanted a regime change there in India. Today, another fresh statement has come in of Donald Trump, where he said that I'm talking about the money which was to be sent to India, not to Bangladesh. So, two statements have come from Donald Trump. On this statement, the BJP has now attacked Congress party specifically, where the BJP's national spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia, BJP's IT head Amit Maja, both have said that the Congress party is working with the forces who want to destabilize India's economy, who want to disturb India's democratic process. Remember that the Doge, which is an organization, comes under the US government, and scrapped the $25 million, which was allegedly meant for for spending in India, for the voter turnout in India. But as far as other news reports are concerned on that, the BJP is targeting Congress party, but the Congress has also come out with its version. Congress is saying that if this money was to come to India, then what were the agencies doing here in our country? Where was Modi government agencies? Pawan Kheda is also asking that now if you say that this money has been spent or was used to meddle in election affairs before 2014, which means in 2012.
The Congress is saying that if that's true, then put out all evidence. So the BJP at this point maintains that yes, there's enough proof that there was meddling in India's internal matters. There was an attempt to meddle in India's election. They're suggesting it happened in 2024. Thanks very much, Piyush, for joining us with those details. Now, like I said, there are some news reports that suggest that this $21 million of USAID wasn't used for voter turnout in India, but for Bangladesh. So let's just counter for you the details we have. Donald Trump said very clearly that $21 million of USAID grant was sanctioned for India, which his administration has cancelled. Now a news report suggests that this $21 million wasn't sanctioned for India, but was sanctioned for Bangladesh and way back in 2022. Trump has said that the grant was aimed at increasing voter turnout in India. This news report says that no, there was no USAID grant linked to polls in India since 2008. Essentially, the money has never come into India as a grant, especially linked to elections, linked to voter turnout, and it's not happened in India since 2008. Now, Trump has also said that they were trying to get somebody else elected. So he's saying essentially that in the 2024 election, this money was used to try and change what the people's voice was, the mandate, to change it completely. The news report, however, that's come to the fore now that claims that this money was actually for Bangladesh, claims that there are records that show $13.4 million grant already spent of the $21 million in Bangladesh. The BJP is maintaining that while this news report says $21 million was for Bangladesh, there's no confusion whatsoever. That when President Trump is talking about $21 million of aid to India, is there really a question of it being meant for Bangladesh and that President Trump got confused between the two? So you're seeing this kind of a back and forth taking place, which the BJP is saying is in fact money that was used to try and rig the election by the opposition, by the Congress. Now there's one name that's doing the rounds constantly in the course of this entire USAID funding fight that's happening. This is the agency's former India chief, USAID's former India chief, Veena Reddy. She's a lawyer and in fact has played a big role in this particular agency. Reportedly, funds went up while she was heading it. BJP's Mahesh Jethmalani has called for an investigation into her role because of the USAID funding jumping from 2021 to 2024 during her tenure.
Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Wow.
US President Donald Trump hinting at USAID interference in India's election has put the spotlight on Veena Reddy, the former India director for the UN agency. An Andhra Pradesh-born American diplomat, she joined USAID's India office on August 5th, 2021. She announced her return to the US on July 17th, 2024, more than a month after the results for the Lok Sabha elections were announced. Before joining the US government as a foreign services officer, Reddy was a corporate attorney in New York, London, and Los Angeles. She has also been a member of bar councils of New York and California, and has also served in USAID missions in Pakistan, the Central Asian Republics, and Central America. With Trump's bombshell revelation, BJP leader and top lawyer Mahesh Jethmalani demanded an investigation into USAID funding and Veena Reddy's role.
Well, India should certainly make a request for further details. Whether there are only three questions which remain. An allocation was made, right, which President Trump, in his words, says were meant to bring about a change in government, and we should tell the Indian government who are the people who made the allegation on behalf of USAID in India, right? And three, who are the people who received the allocated funds? We will know when this investigation takes place or where further information is communicated by the Trump administration to the Modi government.
Net funds disbursements for Indian projects by USAID rose significantly during Reddy's stint, jumping multifold to over $228 million or rupees 1,982 crores in 2022, the highest since 2001. According to the US State Department, during her nearly 3 years of tenure as the mission director, Veena Reddy oversaw various projects in fields of health, economic development, education, social services, democracy, human rights and governance. India Railways, Ministry of Power, Niti Aayog, National Power Training Institute, and Power Sector Skill Council, NTPC, Green National Skills Development Corporation, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Atal Innovation Mission are among prominent government bodies that either signed fresh agreements or implemented USAID-funded programs during Reddy's stint in New Delhi. Will the USAID funds and Veena Reddy's role be probed now? With Shubham Tiwari in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So while you're seeing this political fight, this back and forth over USAID, let's talk about really what this agency does. It's been in the news for the last many weeks since Trump's inauguration, and that's because Trump has ensured a pointed crackdown on USAID and how funds by USAID are used in different countries. The Trump administration has frozen United States Agency of International Development, or the USAID operations, crippling the world's largest humanitarian programs. But what is USAID and why has it become Trump's latest casualty? Let's begin from the very start. Why was USAID created? Well, it was established by President John F. Kennedy during the Cold War in 1961 to counter Soviets' influence through foreign assistance. Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act to formalize this effort, making USAID an independent agency. Although the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, USAID continued to thrive, playing a key role in US foreign policy, albeit a controversial one. So I know you're all wondering, what does USAID do? Well, it's by far the largest humanitarian and development arm of the US government, with a workforce of approximately 10,000 people around the world and an annual budget of tens of billions of dollars. In some regions, it supplies food, shelter, and access to clean water. In others, it supports global networks of disease surveillance and biomedical research that help local populations. Critics say that USAID has practiced a form of soft power worldwide, allowing America to keep a friendly presence in developing countries, including countries that are key strategic allies. So which countries are we talking about here? Well, the USAID had projects in around 130 countries in 2023, according to the Congressional Research Service. In 2023, 70 of the 77 countries the World Bank determined to be low and lower middle-income countries received USAID assistance. The scope of USAID's work is extensive: war relief in Ukraine, peace building in Somalia, disease surveillance in Cambodia, vaccination efforts in Nigeria, HIV prevention in Uganda, maternal health assistance in Zambia. I can go on and on. That list is very, very long. So did USAID also have a role in India? Well, several reports indicate that over the last 15 years, USAID granted more than $270 million to organizations affiliated with George Soros. One such organization, the East-West Management Institute, partnered with Soros's Open Society Foundations and received USAID funding. This revelation has fueled concerns over the US government's role in political movements. In America, a Senator, John Kennedy, has claimed that USAID also funded transgender clinics in India. And then you have a former US State Department official, Mike Pence, who's claimed that he has proof of USAID's direct interference in Indian affairs and how opposition-fueled protests were funded. All of this has led to the BJP alleging that USAID-funded organizations that created unrest in India.
कांग्रेस पार्टी यूएसएड और सोरोस फाउंडेशन के साथ मिलकर देश को टुकड़े टुकड़े करना चाहती है। मेरा आपके माध्यम से सरकार से आग्रह है कि इतने वर्षों में यूएसएड ने जिसको पैसा दिया उसकी जांच हो और उन सबों को सलाखों के पीछे रखे। आपने मुझे मौका दिया। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
So where does all this money come from? Well, the Congress approves USAID's funding each year. The humanitarian agency then works with Congress and the White House to set its investment priorities, while the State Department provides it with foreign policy guidance. The money is paid out through grants, through contracts and cooperative agreements. In 2023, the agency dispersed a whopping $44 billion. Ukraine was the top recipient, receiving almost 37% of that funding. Close to $17 billion in USAID funding in 2023 went to addressing governance issues, is what has been quoted, noting that most of that, again, was headed to Ukraine. Additionally, around $10.5 billion went to addressing humanitarian issues. $7 billion was set aside for health, $1.3 billion went to agriculture. Other major programs funded or managed by USAID in 2023 include $811 million for the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria, and more than $330 million in emergency food and nutrition assistance for Afghanistan. So if they're doing so much humanitarian work, why is Trump against USAID? On January 20th, his first day in office, Trump issued an executive order. implementing a 90-day freeze, a 3-month freeze on foreign assistance programs. According to the order, and I'm reading it out, the United States foreign aid industry and bureaucracy are not aligned with American interests and in many cases antithetical to American values. Tech billionaire Elon Musk, who helms the Department of Government Efficiency, has fired off a series of posts on X that accuse the agency of corruption, referring to them as a criminal organization and a crazy waste of money. Trump has been a long-time critic of overseas spending. During his first term, Trump sought to cut foreign aid spending by a third, but his efforts were thwarted by the Congress. In response, his administration used budget freezes and other tactics to restrict the flow of already approved funds. This move was later ruled illegal under the Impoundment Control Act by the General Accounting Office. So clearly another legal battle looming. The fate of USAID at this point remains 100% uncertain.